Pregame.com.
Welcome back to Pregame.tv. We're heading to the SEC. We've got Auburn at Tennessee, and this is going to be Ken's free pick. And Ken, I look at this Auburn team, 8-1. Did any of you guys see this coming out of Auburn this season?
4-4 or 4-5, I would have thought they'd be right now.
And they're scoring a ton of points, but you got to look. They've had some teams that cakewalks and teams that don't play defense. I mean, they played West Carolina and Florida Atlantic. Those were easy steamroll games, but then they played Texas A&M, who can't stop anybody. So their numbers are a little bit skewed. And then they're going in, and I'll admit, last week I was on Arkansas. I thought it was a great spot, 2 weeks to prepare. Auburn was coming off of all these high-scoring games. I thought Arkansas could run with them. And in the first half, they did, but Arkansas kept shooting themselves in the foot, and then eventually – you can't keep giving away golden opportunities, scoring opportunities like Arkansas was having in the first half and not capitalize before the game gets away from you. And in my opinion, that's what happened last week.
Yeah, here's the thing. Opening drive, they take 8 minutes off the clock, drive right down, run it down their throat. Williams was running well. Collins was running well. You get there, it's 4th and 4. Kick the freaking field goal. Get up 3-0, kick off. The crowd's behind you. No, they go for it on 4th down. They don't get it. So right away, they short-circuit themselves, and Auburn comes right down on a fluke play and gets a long score. So, they put themselves behind the 8 ball. 88-yard pass play, too, for Auburn in that game. And, when I look at it, this Auburn team is one of these teams, 8-1. They literally could be, 6-3 realistically.
Yeah, and they've got, after this game, they loses a little bit if it's Leicester, Georgia, because they're not playing as well as we thought they would. Injuries have hurt them, but they got Gorley back last week. But they got Georgia up next, then followed by Alabama. So is this a look-ahead spot for Auburn this week with Tennessee? Because I'll be honest with you, Tennessee went into Missouri last week, and I thought Missouri would have a tough time picking themselves up off the mat the way they lost to South Carolina. And Missouri just absolutely throttled them last week.
Yeah, that tells me all I need to know about Tennessee here, and I don't know who you're going to pick, but I like Auburn in this game. You take a look at what they've done on the entire season. They're averaging 0.9 yards per play more than they allow. Tennessee's allowing 0.9 yards per play more than they produce. From a passing standpoint, Auburn passes the ball 14.5 yards per completion, Tennessee only 10.2. The major reason I like Auburn in this game is the running game. They're running for 5.7 yards a carry. Tennessee doesn't stop the run. They're allowing 5.2. Tennessee is just coming off Missouri, Alabama, South Carolina. Very physical defenses, all in a row. And now they're playing an Auburn team. And in Auburn, we've talked about it, they haven't played the toughest schedule. So you got more of a fresher team, and they got a bye coming up off of this one. I think, a lot of people have said Auburn's overrated. I happen to think they're underrated because there's so many people saying they're overrated.
You know what, Ken? I don't know. He's putting the pressure on with his lead in coming into you. So we're going to make it official. Either we're going to have one hell of a rebuttal or it's going to be agreement. We're going to find out.
All right, we will make it official, and we will go against what Bryan Leonard said because all he's looking at is overall stats for Auburn. How about let's look at Tennessee at home? Totally different team. You talk about home-road dichotomy. Well, Tennessee, 45-0, Austin Peay, no big deal. 52-20 over Western Kentucky, no big deal. Held on to beat a much-improved South Alabama team. Lost to Georgia by a field goal. Gurley was still healthy then, but then beat South Carolina at home, 23-21. You're going Auburn now, back-to-back road games. First time this year, you're going into Knoxville in front of 104,000. Hey, I know Joshua Dobbs is a young kid, but he's starting to get it together. You have Neal, who comes off a sluggish game. You have Lane in the backfield, Pig Howard, North. These guys will come up big. And the Tennessee defense, as woeful as they are, back-to-back road games. That's right. You go to Alabama and you go to Mizzou. Those are tough venues. You can't wait to get home and take out a pretender like Auburn. Auburn's a freaking pretender. This is one of the worst 8-1 teams that I have seen. Everything is falling right for them. And that crap that they pulled last week with the guy faking the injury in the end zone, that ought to be a major fine right there. Never saw it. But, hey, Malzahn's done a nice job. Give him credit. I'd love for them to beat Alabama in the Iron Bowl, but they're going to lose that game like 52-3 on their home field. Marshall's been solid. Mason out of the backfield is good. Coach, you look at him, had 102 yards receiving. One play, 88 yards. That was it, basically, on the 3 receptions. That was the play that broke the game open against Arkansas. Arkansas should have won that game last week. So you can look at the score, and if you just read box scores, you have no freaking clue on that Arkansas should have beat Auburn last week, and Tennessee wins this game outright. They don't need the 7.5. They win the game outright over Auburn.
All right. Well, there you go. Ken, pretty, you know, I don't know. You tossed out the over/under on Frickens in there. I think it went over the total for the for the video there. But you like Tennessee? Any rebuttal there, real quick?
I think he needs to save one of those Frickens for after the final score of this game comes in. Tennessee's only beaten one quality team all year, and that was South Carolina at home by 2 points with an extra week to prepare.
Have they not played well at home in all their games? Every one of their games they played well.
They haven't played anybody.
Okay, well, who's Auburn? Who has Auburn played, and they have not played back-to-back road games yet? Let's see how good they are.
Dinner bet.
You got it.
First ever dinner bet between us.
All right.
There you go.
You better find out where he's taking you
Don't
first.
matter yet. Doesn't much matter.
All right, there you have it. Ken's official play is to take Tennessee plus the points. I'm on the fence on this one. I'm not going to get in between these two guys. Brian says he likes Auburn in that one. We'll see who's right next week. We're coming back next. Kansas State, Texas Tech. That's up next. Pregame.tv.